Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We're here for you. We are the Red Hot Underdogs. I am AnzaK, and with me, the ever incredible, long contained, never imitated, often imitated, never imitated, something imitated, never duplicated. It's Drewy. Oh, God.
Hey, buddy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that takes more losses than a Kamala Harris presidential campaign.
Yeah.
We are the Red Hot Underdogs.
Yeah. She got smashed, didn't she?
Oh, she did. She got absolutely hammered. I know we're not a political
No.
podcast, but I just want to say, what a stupid bloody way to run your campaign, having all of these celebrities tell the common man how they should live their life.
Yeah.
You know, people with 21 bedrooms in their fucking house, and you're having sardines on toast.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, oh, I'm going to vote for them because Beyonce says that I should, and it'll be better for my economy. Two different universes.
60 million in poverty in America. Don't have enough for food. But anyway, she's gone.
She's gone.
She went out laughing, though, didn't she? She certainly went out laughing.
Correct. The right person won, whether you like him or not. Regardless of that, we'll crack onto some sport. The Melbourne Cup.
Melbourne Cup, done.
We have a winner. Knight's Choice.
Yep.
$81 it was paying,
Wow.
which further proves the fact that even if you do know the sport of horse racing, there's a huge chance that you will not pick the winner.
Yep. Nobody knows. Well, we said now it's 20 years. For the last 20 years, is it a horse? The favourite hasn't won, or the favourite hasn't placed?
The favourite hasn't won for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
So that's a bloody long time.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that I think people will be starting to trend away from the favourite.
Yeah.
Well and truly. Now, there's a reason why it's the favourite.
Yeah.
We get all that. But, you know, you can't always defeat history.
Yeah.
Now, looking at your tips,
I remember never lie.
Last week.
Facts and statistics never lie.
They don't lie. And neither of us did particularly well with our tips. Let's be perfectly honest. We were rubbish. We came in proclaiming to be novices, and we didn't lie to you.
Didn't lie.
We were exactly what we wrote on the packet.
Yes, you got what you paid for, which was nothing. You got nothing. You paid for nothing. You got nothing. Everybody should. Yeah.
And hopefully you didn't follow any of our tips, because you would have left the day stone motherless broke.
Except for one. I did say everybody loves sushi.
Akita Sushi. So just briefly, I'll go through your tips.
Yep.
You, for your trifecta, had Buckaroo at number 1, which was the pre-race favourite.
Yep.
It came 9th.
Yep.
The second horse you picked, as you just said, was Akita Sushi. That actually came 3rd. So you did very well there.
Thank you.
Yep. And the third horse you picked was One Smooth Operator, which came 12th.
Well,
which wasn't too good. My tips, I had One Smooth Operator coming 1st. That came 12th. Absurd, I had 2nd. That came 5th, which wasn't too bad, but still not great. And Land Legend I had coming 3rd, and it came 8th. And all of that just proved that we know absolutely bugger all about horse racing.
Yeah. Yes. Nothing's learnt, nothing's gained. We're back to where we started.
Correct. And there was a great big relief for me that my tip of my Stairway to Heaven tip, which was a potential horse that could die during or after the race, did not come true. So well done to Mostly Cloudy. You came 18th, but the good news is you didn't die.
Yeah. Well,
which is always important.
Because don't forget, one day it will, and one day all the horses will, and one day everything will. Oh, isn't that a nice note to think about? One day we're all going to be dead. So actually, you are right. You eventually will be right. You know, that horse will be dead. So all the horses. So will us. We will be dead. Yeah.
We keep it nice and cheery here at the Red Hot Underdogs. We love to lift absolutely everybody's spirit.
Yeah.
And just for the record, if you want a morbid stat on the Stairway to Heaven tip,
Yep.
6 horses have died in the history of the race on Melbourne Cup Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. During the race or after the race.
Yeah. But okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, it was a good day for Knight's Choice and jockey Robbie Dolan, so he did well. One for the small guys.
Yes.
You know, every now and then a short little bugger or a midget steps up to the plate and they say every dog has his day. Well, every jockey has his day, and you had your day, sir.
You did. Cheers to you.
$8 million richer. Not specifically him by himself. That will be spread amongst the team, but you will get more than a generous share because you rode the bloody horse.
Yeah. I wonder how much a jockey gets out of, you know, like, is it a percentage? Is it a certain amount? I mean, I'm sure it's all different what you agree to.
I would love to find out, you see, because you know what? If I'm the jockey, I'm thinking I don't want some hoity-toity owner getting more than me, even though they will. I at least want a generous share because I rode the bloody thing.
Yeah.
If I'm a jockey, but you know what you get and what happens doesn't always translate in life, does it?
Yeah. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be a percentage. There'll be some type of bonus in there for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually had a bit of feedback during the week, funnily enough, to our Melbourne Cup horse racing love tips segment, which was quite strange. Now, I wasn't expecting this text, but I got a text from a guy, I'd say around about June or July. It was pouring down rain when I was coming home from work one day. And I'm like, this guy was hitchhiking. I've got to give him a lift. So I gave him a lift. We got to talking about a whole heap of things. Somehow the Red Hot Underdogs got brought up. Yeah. But it did, and all good. At the end of the trip...
This was a bad joke. This is a true story.
This is a true story.
Okay, all right. I'll pay attention now. Okay, yeah.
So I picked this guy up in Belrose and dropped him off at a Lambie where he lived.
Was he at a bus stop hitchhiking, or what was?
Well, he was in that sort of that weird section between. Now, if you don't know the area, you don't know the area, but between like Bunnings at Belrose and sort of like that next stretch of forest and bush area that goes on for God knows how long.
St Ives, like that way.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's a huge area. You couldn't walk that in an hour.
So I don't know why it was traveling like that and why I didn't know the story, but all I knew was pouring down rain.
And he put his thumb out? Did he put his thumb out?
He did have the thumb out. He did have the thumb. I was hoping he'd have one of those Easter show ones that you get with the exaggerated thumb or the finger, like at the baseball games. But anyway.
And so you were heading to work, so this would have been early in the morning.
No. Heading home from work.
Oh, okay. So he's heading towards Belrose. Gotcha.
Yeah. I was heading home, so I was able to give him a lift to a Lambie. We got to talking heaps. Yep. I mentioned the Red Hot Underdogs, and then just before he was about to hop out, he said, "We should catch up sometime and have a drink." I felt really awkward, and I'm like, "Well, I don't really want to reject the bloke because I've just given him a lift. Yeah. We've had a great chat."
Yeah.
I'm like, why the hell not? All right. So we exchanged details. I probably caught up with him about twice or three times. Anyway, lo and behold, Yesterday, I actually got a text from this guy after not hearing from him for months.
Yep.
By the way, the Red Hot Underdogs does not endorse hitchhiking.
No.
But I will, for the purpose of the exercise, I'll read out his text.
Yeah, please do.
Here it is. Hi, Drew, it's Simon, your hitchhiker mate.
Yeah.
After several nights of turning over my wrist like a prime version of Shane Warne, I've now found love due to your underdog love tips. I met a girl from Parramatta at the race. After several back and forth shouts, we exchanged details, and by Friday, I was riding my filly like a jockey on warp speed. As the day ended, she insisted on the last shout, but I had the last laugh. Thanks for the love tips, legend. So
Wow, that's the best express I've ever heard.
we've done our duty here
Yeah,
at the Red Hot Underdogs. Who the hell would have thought that we were good for something?
yeah. Well, besides good for nothing, Like, yeah,
Besides good for nothing,
Yeah.
you're right.
which is
And
good.
bloody useless at
Yeah.
horse tips.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So he found. Are you claiming he found love because of the Red Hot Underdogs?
Well, he's claiming it. It was in his text.
Now read that
So-
last bit again. Read that. Well, read it all again. Read it all again.
Hi, Drew. It's Simon, your hitchhiker mate. After several nights of turning over my wrist like a prime version
Hang on.
of Shane Warne.
Okay. Yes. I know what he's talking
Yes.
about. Yes. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. Yep.
I have now found love due to your underdog love tips.
Okay. He's now found love due to your
Yes.
underdog love tips. Okay. Not Melbourne
Correct.
Cup tips, love tips.
Love tips, correct. I met a girl from Parramatta. She was
Okay.
obviously correct. Yes.
Yeah.
At the race.
Race.
After several back
which
and
race?
forth
Which race?
shouts.
At which race?
The Melbourne Cup. He went to the Melbourne Cup.
Okay, went down there and met a girl from
Yes.
Parramatta.
Correct.
What are the odds for that?
Correct. And not very high. And not very high that I would have got this text from him. But
Well, just
here
to
it is.
go all the way to Melbourne and meet someone from Parramatta.
But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Here's the bit you got to listen out for.
Yeah.
After several back and forth shouts, we exchanged details.
Okay.
That's the important thing, because last week I said,
Yeah.
if you're you don't even need to be handsome, but you're a young, confident guy, and you go down there and you talk to the birds, shout them the first drink, maybe shout them the second drink.
Okay, gotcha. For some reason, I was thinking shouts as in, they were like, shouts like, hi, how you going? Good.
No.
Like shouting, but yeah, we're talking about shouting drinks.
Drinks, and if you don't shout the third, and they like, then it progresses from there. Then you know that
you
you're on
did
the
say that last
I
weekend.
did say that. Yes,
You did give
correct.
love advice, and well, okay, keep going with the Parramatta girl. Yep, and then
Oh, and then it just says, after several back and forth shouts, we exchanged details.
Yep.
And by Friday, I was riding my filly like a jockey on warp speed.
he's in love. Yep.
As the day ended, she insisted on the last shout, but I had the last laugh. Thanks for the love tips, legend.
Wow, what a legend. Seriously, what a legend.
Seriously, what a legend.
Yeah.
And just for the record, it was Knight's Choice came first.
Yep.
Warp Speed was second.
Second.
And Keita Sushi came third.
Third.
Now, I might be looking too deeply into the text message.
No,
But-
you never can. No.
When he said I was riding my filly like a jockey on warp speed, is there a hidden message in there
Yeah.
that because warp speed came second, he came second, and he fancies himself as a dynamo in the bedroom? Just food for thought. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into that.
Deep.
Maybe not.
That's-
Maybe he was giving himself a hidden rap.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
And I'm sure he was very deep too. Good on you, big guy. Well done, Simon.
Yeah,
We
wow.
love it.
Love you, Simon. That's sensational. And have you picked up any other hitchhikers? You know, because
No, I'm not going to
this
do
is
it again.
working.
It's just,
We're getting
yes.
subscribers. Somehow we're getting people eyes on this show. All you need to do is pick up some more people.
It's just
Just
that it was
drive
a
around
heavily
looking for them.
rainy day.
Drive
Yeah.
around and look for these hitchhikers.
Yeah.
So you'll
Look,
find some.
I'm just stoked that for once the Red Hot Underdogs has done a great community service.
Community service.
So bloody beautiful.
Can I
And
tell you something like related to that?
yeah.
I have applied, okay,
Mhm.
to Citizen of the Year. Okay.
Very good.
So every
Okay.
year, certain citizens that are pillars of the community, Drewy,
Mm-hmm.
can apply. You know,
Okay.
but you're not meant to apply yourself. You know,
Ah,
someone's got to nominate you. So
yes.
I sent it in, and I actually sent in too that I do this podcast. I said, oh, yep, I do a podcast. It's to help the masses. It's to help people like Simon. Yes.
Yes.
And I talked about it, and I sent it, and the bloke who does it replied to me from the council and said, sorry, Julian, you can't nominate yourself.
Yeah, you got a few raps on yourself there, but
So yeah,
good.
seriously.
I like the confidence.
So I just went back and I said, look, it's okay. My wife applies for me to be Citizen of the Year. I haven't even told her that she's done it. So I went back and I said, you know, I just changed it. Instead of I do a podcast called The Red Hot Underdogs, I changed it to he does a podcast called The Red Hot Underdogs. So boom. My point is I have applied for Citizen of what's it called? Citizen of the Year or Citizen? Yeah. So, you know,
Apparently, yeah.
I don't think it's called Citizen of the Year. Outstanding Citizen Award. That's what I've applied for. An Outstanding Citizen Award.
Okay. Well, I hope you go well. I'm
Yeah.
thinking you're coming in around about 80 to 1, but you know, hey, Knight's choice was $81, so there's a chance. There's a chance.
In the Melbourne Cup, I'd have a chance.
So congratulations to Knight's choice coming first, Warp Speed second, Akita Sushi third, and the horse that came lucky last or unlucky last, its name was very aptly called Just Fine. And even though you came last, you will be just fine.
Will be.
There's always next year.
I'm sure you get a bit of money for coming last, right?
Yeah, maybe a packet of chips and some Coke, bit of horse feed for the horse, maybe some extra water in the trough.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
A sport we don't cover very often. This morning, the Wallabies beat England.
Yes.
So that was a very good win. It was 20-18 at half time.
Yeah.
Full-time score was Wallabies 42, England 37.
Matched it.
Wallaby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not much in the way of defence there from either side, but hey, makes for an entertaining game.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So the Wallabies actually scored in the 84th minute. There was a bit of injury time, so it was absolutely at the death. That was try by Max Jorgensen, the winger, and rugby league. Ex-former rugby league player Joseph Suaalii played his first game for the Wallabies and had an absolute blinder at outside centre. So he'll be a massive and great acquisition for the Wallabies moving forward. My only worry about the Wallabies, they seem to win a big game and then the next week they'll just be completely rubbish. They are the ultimate rugby Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched it and really enjoyed it. And I think I watched it just because it's, you know, we're in this period, rugby league's finishing or finished. I know we've got the Australia versus Tonga one, you know.
Yeah.
Does that count? Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. It sort of feels weird playing rugby league in November.
Yeah.
So last I checked, while we're doing this podcast, Australia were leading. I think it was 20 points to 10.
Oh, yep.
Against Tonga with about 7 minutes to go or something. I don't know. I feel like all the air has gone out of the balloon for me on the international front as far as rugby league is concerned.
Yeah.
It's just the time of year they've played it. We've had our premiere in the Panthers.
Yeah.
I just am not feeling the vibe. I want to. What are your thoughts?
I think it's because you're not Tongan, or like, I think if you were Tongan or Samoan, or if for those communities, and I'm basing that around on driving to work. I do occasionally see the Tongan flags about.
Yeah.
So is that something to base something on? Why
They
not?
are.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've got to a point where, like, somewhere in the history of the game, Australians really love the international game. But as time has gone on, I felt like the interest level has gone down for the regular Aussie. But as the Tongans and Samoans have got markedly better, they seem to follow it down to a T and watch all of it. However, I think there's a shift in the general Aussie public watching it. Yeah.
Australia versus Tonga, Australia 20, Tonga 14. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I didn't watch it. But if I did, I'd probably go for Tonga. Is that okay to say that?
That's okay to say that. Look, they've actually done really well. They're the biggest improvers in rugby league internationally. Samoa have done very well. People shouldn't forget they made the actual last World Cup final in rugby league when they beat England to play Australia in the final. So the rise of Samoa and Tonga in rugby league is a very real thing. And if you're Tongan Samoan, there's a lot of light there in the tunnel for you. There's a very, very bright future for both countries.
Yeah.
Particularly Tonga of late. I mean, they just beat New Zealand last week, so that is very good. So yeah, all happening. Wallabies, good win, but hey, got to be consistent, boys. No use just having one good win and then going back to rubbish in your next game. It'll be interesting to see how they go from here. Hopefully there'll be more consistency following.
I don't know whether it was a good win, but it was a good game,
Well, it's a solid scalp, if nothing else.
Yeah, okay. Solid scalp. I'll give it.
Yeah. I think the Wallabies will go for any win right now. Like, let's be honest. They've been like a car with a wobbly tyre for quite a while.
I feel that rugby union is going to get bigger. I just, what do you think the future holds for rugby union? I mean, it's never been this unpopular.
It's never been this unpopular. Honestly, I loved rugby union. I love rugby union. I played it, but I just think that it's still in the doldrums and will be there for quite a while. It feels like rugby league is getting bigger.
Yeah, it is.
Apart from, ironically, sort of the international game doesn't seem to be overly big at rugby league, I don't think. But as far as the regular season and Origin is concerned, that's never been bigger.
Never been bigger. It's bigger every year. Everybody wants to play rugby league. Nobody wants to play rugby union. But, is there a turning point? Is it, what could turn rugby union from what it is now to what it used to be?
Okay, right now I can't see it because, let's face it, the Super Rugby is pretty much dead. No one watches that.
Dead duck. It's a dead
Not even some 84-year-old man's goldfish. Just nobody watches it. You could fire a cannonball through any given stadium of any given week during rugby union, the Super Rugby tournament, and not hit anybody, let alone a drink or a car in a car park, even though there probably won't be any cars in the car park. Anyway, I just feel that there doesn't feel like there'll be any turning point, but if I could pinpoint something maybe might be the inclusion of some big name signings like you've had with Suoli. He's
Yeah.
just had a fantastic debut.
Yeah.
If you can get a few more marquee names like that, it might put a few more bums on seats
Yeah.
in order to get those wheels turning for the rugby union.
Okay, but what about, okay, let's say they get some big players and they market those big players. What about, you know, any rule changes to the games, or what about a new competition? Like, you know, this
You know,
competition is a dead duck, as we said. Could they change it somehow? Could they make it strictly an international thing, or new teams and new mascots? So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, Drewy. It's dead in the water. Somebody needs to do something.
all right. Well, here's the thing. I don't think they've got enough numbers and participation numbers to extend any new teams in any Super Rugby. If anything, a few of them might fall by the wayside. I think the Rebels, they fell by the wayside, I believe, last year. But, you know, the problem is I don't think they can do anything with rule changes. Maybe, if anything, bring back a few rule changes, make a few less rules, because they almost beat the game down to within an inch of its life by having so many rules that when the referee would blow his whistle
Yeah.
for a penalty, players from both teams would look at the referee and think, "Oh, did we get the penalty or did you get the penalty?"
Maybe
And when you start looking at the referee's arm, see where the penalty went, that's when you know that you've absolutely overcomplicated and overcooked the game as
Yeah.
far as rules are concerned.
Yeah, and the ball in play, like the amount of actual
Yeah.
playing time in what is it, 90 minutes? So rugby union, you know, full game, 90 minutes, right? It's
No,
not,
no, 80 minutes, same as rugby league. But obviously, like today's game, there was some injury time where it sort of went over. But generally, yeah, it's the 80 minutes.
but
And
actual
they
ball
play right to the
time,
bell till the
you
ball
know,
is dead up. Firing.
there's so much of just the ball not actually doing anything, or the team not playing, you know, there's so much of that, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes you line up about 6 cups of coffee and about 4 Red Bulls to get through a game. A bad game of rugby union. A good game is good, but a bad game of rugby union is
Yeah.
awful because of so many rules, almost to the point where the running game that I used to know and love has almost sometimes become a game of professional goal kicking.
Yeah.
And whoever's got the best goal kicker sometimes wins the game.
Yeah. And there
So,
was
yeah.
that stigma, or that idea that, oh yeah, rugby union has strategy. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, rugby league didn't have strategy, but rugby union did have strategy.
Yeah.
It feels that that's a dead duck. It's like now
Yeah.
rugby union just has overcompensated rules. There's no strategy. There's less strategy in rugby union now. Maybe there was 30 years.
Oh, I agree with you. There's a lot less strategy. And ironically, I think it's because they put in too many rules.
Yeah.
So you can
Oh, 10
barely.
minutes, cuz.
Oh,
Sorry.
beautiful.
Yeah, 10 minutes. So
You can.
the too many rules has killed the rugby union strategy.
Yeah, like you can barely look the wrong way or pass wind lightly without getting a penalty blown or have the referee blow his whistle over something really ridiculous, absolutely stupid.
And
I just hope that they simplify it a bit.
and the penalty is
Mm.
3 points.
It is 3 for a
And
goal.
a
Yeah.
try is 5 points.
5 points if you miss, 7 if you get the conversion.
But
Anyway, let's
my
hope
point
that.
is that a penalty being 3 points is too many points for a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think the points allocation is the problem. It's just the amount of rules and oversaturation of rules has almost completely killed off the game. I think that's the biggest issue.
No, I think it's the points. I think there's
Uh,
too many points. So they never, ever, ever go for a try. They always just want a penalty. They go for a penalty,
yeah,
get a penalty.
I don't completely disagree with you. I don't completely disagree, but that's just one piece of a pretty big pie.
Yeah.
There are lots of other factors.
Well, we saw
Uh,
a game, this morning that wasn't like that. Do you know what I mean? That
yeah.
wasn't all penalty,
No. So we've got something coming up next week,
Oh, yeah.
which I really, really dread as a hardcore boxing fan. It is Mike Tyson versus the YouTuber Jake Paul, aka Fake Paul.
Fake Paul, is that what they call him? Did you make that
Well,
up? It's a real thing.
no, it's been around. People call him Fake Paul. A few people, not many, because he's got a lot of lovers, a lot of people that tune into his shit. I mean, I don't know.
What time is the fight on in Australia?
Well, first of all, it's such a rubbish fight that they're putting it on Netflix for free. I hate circuses, but even I'm belatedly going to admit this might be the first egg fart circus fight I'll ever watch.
And I tell you, it is the biggest egg fart circus you ever will watch.
It's bloody dreadful, mate. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. Fake Paul, 27. There's a 31-year age difference. 3 entire decades.
Yeah.
And let's not get all excited about it. I know a lot of casual people will, but to tell you how much of a softly special education fight this is to sort of protect people. All right, now let's not get it twisted. Mike Tyson, probably the second most iconic fighter of all time behind Muhammad Ali. Absolute beast in his day, almost untouchable in his prime. So put that out there, just so I preface that. However, at 58 years of age, taken plenty of shots to the head, loves his marijuana.
Loves those joints. His joint bongs. Which one? Probably both.
Oh, he has all sorts of things. And the mushrooms. He doesn't mind a mushroom. So this fight.
He has it on
he
his
loves
neck.
his mushrooms.
Chops those mushrooms up. He's got mushrooms and weed spread on his bacon and eggs in the morning. Anyway, yes, I'm listening.
Absolutely everywhere. Yeah, mushrooms on toast. Loves it.
Mushrooms on toast.
So this will be a fight, inverted commas, air quote. I use that term extremely loosely, which will consist of 8 2-minute rounds. Now, in a regular boxing fight, it's usually 10 3-minute rounds for a fight that's not a championship fight. If you're fighting for a belt, it's 12 3-minute rounds. So he's fighting for 16 minutes. A regular fight that isn't a championship fight is 30 minutes, and one that is 36 minutes. That is a big reduction.
Huge reduction.
And the gloves. Now, fighters usually have 10-ounce gloves. What are they doing for Mike Tyson's very old, fragile, egg-like skull? Hey, guys, let's have 14-ounce gloves. Let's not have 10-ounce gloves. Let's just strap 2 massive tontine pillows onto the end of our fists.
So it's going to hurt a lot less.
Which is good, because let's face it, Mike Tyson shouldn't be in the ring anyway. And I feel he could lose to this Disney kid, which would be a travesty. I hope he doesn't. And for the record, it's going on their official records.
For the record.
It's not an exhibition.
No exhibition here. I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited about it just because people are talking about it, and I want to watch it. And so if it's in America Saturday night, it'll be
Yeah.
here at what time? Midday-ish, something like that.
About midday here, I think.
On
I
some,
think Tyson's best chance is an early knockout if he
yep,
can land.
yep.
As I've discussed before, I think if it goes beyond 2 or 3 rounds, Mike Tyson will look like an 85-year-old trying to catch $100 bills in the breeze.
Yep.
He'll look exhausted, uncoordinated, and I think he could actually be money for jam for fake Paul the Disney kid, because he's just been training this guy. He hasn't even been doing his teeny bopper YouTube shit for about 2 or 3 years because he got heaps of followers from it.
Hey,
So
but you
yeah.
gotta love that the way this is being shown free
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah, free on Netflix.
That is
And
incredible. It really is. That's incredible.
well, it should be,
Yep.
because neither of them are particularly good fighters anymore. We know that Mike Tyson was an extreme, absolute legend. In fact, the youngest heavyweight champion in heavyweight history. He got that honour at 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days. So I'm not denying how great he was then, but he's a 58-year-old man and is fighting a guy 31 years his junior. For the record, Jake.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've interrupted again.
Yeah.
Do you think that people in Australia or America or anywhere will be going to pubs or clubs to watch this?
Oh, I think in America, yes, because Americans will eat up any old cheesy shit.
Yeah.
They're the chief
just
of
that
cheese and the king
everybody
of corn.
will have it for free. Is that going to keep people just at home watching it, or are you?
Oh, maybe, because in Australia no one would, but Aussies will probably tune in just because it's free on Netflix. We wouldn't tune in otherwise. And
But
listen, Jake,
are the pubs going to be full?
no, I don't think it'll even be shown in pubs here. I don't think they'll waste their time. It's not big over here. It's huge over there. Massive in America.
Mm.
Just to preface something for Jake Paul, although he's got a record of 10 wins, 7 knockouts, and 1 loss, I have discussed this ages ago on when this was meant to be done several months ago and the fight didn't materialise. The one fighter that Jake Paul did lose to was Tommy Fury.
Oh, yep.
Who was a bit of a journeyman. Tyson Fury's half-brother, who has a record of 10 wins, 4 of those by KO, no losses and no draws. But his opposition has been complete rubbish, and that is shown in the fact that the combined record of Tommy Fury's opponents, the guy that Jake Paul lost to, the combined record is 30 wins, 176 losses, and 5 draws.
176 losses.
So,
Did you sit there and count them up with a calculator?
I went to Box Rec
Okay.
and I counted up all of his losses combined because, it's all about context.
1 minute to go, mate. Less than a minute to go. Just to sum
All
up.
right.
Melbourne Cup done.
I'm done with the circus fight. Well done, Melbourne Cup.
Melbourne Cup.
Bloody fantastic for Knight's Choice, and well done, Simon, on getting your ride.
Yeah.
Due to the red hot underdog.